Hey all, and welcome back to Fuzzy Ducksy Gaming and episode 19 of the Layback Exile. Now this covers day 35 to 37, and again, just to recap, it's 1.5 hours day per play in SSF. So in this episode, there's lots coming up. There's a Deathless A8 that we'll brief footage for, but this is part of really the farming routine now, so I'm not going to touch on this too much in future episodes. I have to complete Mastermind to get some of the crafts that I need for items. So there's a Deathless 83 Katarina as well. I do take on the Formed invitation. I also decide to go and attempt Maven. And really, the reason I've done this is the DPS is getting a lot better as shown by the footage in the background. It's a stark contrast to the last fight I had on this where it was taking an absolute age to get through the phases. So the first part of this episode, I was focusing on getting a body armor that's better than just the bog standard 6-link that I have. So as mentioned in the last video, I had this item level 86 astral plate with Hunter Influence drop from Sirus, and I've 6-socketed and then 5-linked it with a Harvest Craft, and I've got the colours close to my desired colours. So the steps from here are to level up Varici in Research to level 3. He's currently in Research and he's level 2, so that should be fairly quick. Complete Mastermind, which I mentioned we do, and then I need to use Varici on the chest and hope that the white sockets give me the desired colours that I need. It's then a case of crafting it through Harvest, and the mod I'm looking for is attacks have critical strike chance, and that can either be an attack or a crit mod on Harvest. Then at that point, if I can find a body armor enchant, great, but I'm not going to let it hold up the progression. It's then down to a case of farming iron armor missions to try and get the monster that lets you corrupt a body armor to 30%, because then I don't have to worry about trying to corrupt it and bricking it, and I don't have to worry about scourging it. And then once it's in the position and it's corrupted and 5-linked, last step is just tainted fusings to get it 6-linked. Along with this, still looking for my Assassin's Mark on hit ring, so that will be more caster rerolls to try and get that. I also need new boots, and we do have a high level pair of hunter boots that I can use for crafting, and I either want +2 pierce, which would allow me to drop a few nodes on the tree, or I'm looking for tailwind. Now both the mods are rare and I don't know a way to target these, so it's really a case of spamming any essences that give good stuff for boots, any fossils, just anything I've got spare on the boots, and hope for the best. And then due to this, the episode is mostly staying in Haywalk Hamlet, picking up some boss kills and the Sirus kill along the way. So they were the goals for the episode, so we'll move on to the results for the day, or for the 3 days. And we ended up with an okay Assassin's Mark on hit ring. It is only level 8 Assassin's Mark, but it's got a resistance and it's got an open prefix to craft life, and realistically I'm not going to get better than that considering the amount of caster rerolls that I've gone through. Boots wise, I did get lucky in the end. I spammed nearly all my essences on them, but we did manage to get this pair of boots, which although they're not perfect, for SSF they're really good, and it allows me to drop the pierce nodes from the tree. What I do need to do, because I didn't realise I hadn't unlocked it, is I need to unlock movement speed plus onslaught on kill in Syndicate, because at the moment I've just got normal movement speed crafted on it, and having onslaught just means it's much better for mapping, because the onslaught flask, it takes longer to charge than the other, so it can be that you don't always have this up. The 6-link ended up with a pretty decent roll. It will probably last me till the end of the series, unless we drop like a Maven orb or Awaken orb, and it opens up our crafting possibilities a little bit. We did use it in Varici. Obviously it only gave us 1 white socket. I farmed Einar for about, I'd say 1.5 to 2 hours using nearly all my missions, and we didn't get the monster that we needed. Regarding progress, I've hit level 95. I've got a few more unique maps completed for bonus, but I still am missing the Vile Temple map to get all of my non-unique maps completed and bonus objectives done. I've corrupted so many T15 maps and not had one yet. And it's just kind of typical, because when you're in trade and you don't want it to happen because you're limited on maps, it will corrupt the Vile Temple that you can't do. When you're looking for it, you don't get it. Completed Elder and Shaper again to try and get an Uber Elder set. But Elder again dropped Fragment of Knowledge, so I'm going to have to start that rotation again. I had one more synth map drop, but it's unfortunately one I've already had witnessed. So I will run it next episode to try and get an invitation drop, but we're still 2 maps short of getting that invitation filled up. And then to round off the day, I went and completed Maven. I had to use all my portals, as in the third Maven phase, something happened to my connection, which is shown in the background now. I don't know what happened, but there was some sort of brain fart on the GGG servers and every input was delayed by about 2 seconds. I should have just quit straight away, but I stayed in hoping it would get better and I bricked the arena. Luckily, I did manage to get it down on the last portal, but the last phase was an absolute mess as there was degen all over the place. My DPS still feels a tiny bit low for this fight, but since it's all mechanics, it's an okay fight to do on average DPS. I was a bit out of practice and was certainly not perfect. I was a bit tilted when I came back after the, well, it was basically a DC and I was really tilted. I then died standing in her telegraphed attack, and as I died, I didn't realise one of the degen balls was about to explode, and when I came back in the arena, it did, and it did it in a really, really bad place. Luckily, I managed to fluke my way through the encounter. We get her completed, get the passives. Obviously, we got no loot. Maven is, I don't know, to me, I think the loot needs to be improved because the only thing really that's worth getting is a Maven orb. So the build does feel pretty comfortable, but I do need a new claw, and a Mark of the Elder would be really good. So I'm really desperate to get that last Uber Elder fragment and do that encounter. Also, I want to do it because I've hardly done that encounter at all, so it would be good for me to learn how it actually works. So I've now hit 95, and on SSF, while taking on tough content, I'm not really going to look to push past that mark. So it's time to start juicing content and trying some stuff that's difficult, even if it means we fail it. The last thing I would like to do is get an enchant for my helmet, but as I've got Pierce now, the enchants we'd be looking for is anything to do with anger, precision, lightning strike damage or grace, but I absolutely hate doing lab, so it's probably not something I'm going to do. And then lastly, for the episode, as I said, we did complete another Maven invitation, which is The Formed, and that'll be the showcase at the end of the video. Now, I don't know what I'm going to target next other than try and get Uber Elder fragments to be able to do that fight. I can maybe try and farm some fragments for Uber at Zeri, but in terms of trying to take on the Feared, I'm not sure I'm good enough to do it or the build's good enough, but then that still relies on me dropping a Cortex map, and I've not had many drop in my whole time playing Path of Exile. They normally turn up in Zana missions, so if we do get one drop, we're certainly going to try and take it on, but it's going to be really RNG. So that covers this episode. There is a POB for the character as it is at the moment. Next episode, as I say, is hopefully an Uber Elder attempt. So I hope you stay on the journey. Thank you so much for watching. Take care and see you in the next video.